work in our reproductive health department. I work primarily with our Misoprostol programs. And this is Paul Blumenthal, our global medical director, works on our women's health project. And he's going to talk a little bit about the medicine behind Misoprostol. Just to set the stage for him, I'm going to talk just very briefly about where we do Misoprostol work. I'm going to talk for just a second about the Misoprostol donors that we have, and then go into where we work with Misoprostol and what we're actually doing. Okay, so the only reason I really want to highlight who our Misoprostol donors are is to sort of address the fact that there's a popular belief that our only Misoprostol donor is the LAD, or the Women's Health Project. But in fact, we have 6 donors who now cover our Misoprostol programming, which is pretty impressive because it is a new product, and just a couple years ago we did only have 1 donor. So currently the LAD, the Dutch, KFW, DFID, Gates, and USAID cover or fund our Misoprostol programs in one way or another. The LAD funds our Misoprostol programs in terms of medication abortion, post-abortion care, and distribution under other indications. The Dutch have funded us to do post-abortion care work with Misoprostol and postpartum hemorrhage work. KFW is our newest donor on board with it, and they're funding us to do a small pilot in Tanzania around postpartum hemorrhage. DFID is funding us to do postpartum hemorrhage work in 1 country, and although they're not funding us for post-abortion care, safe abortion work, they do fund others in that area. And some of you may have heard that we went for a DFID grant on safe abortion. Unfortunately, we lost it to our competitors, MSI and IPAS. Gates is funding us to do postpartum hemorrhage work with Misoprostol in 4 countries. And USAID is funding us to do postpartum hemorrhage work in 1 country, and they do support post-abortion care, although to my knowledge we don't have any USAID funding for this, and they have not yet endorsed Misoprostol for post-abortion care. Okay, so here's just a very brief look at where we're working with Misoprostol across the PSI world. So we're doing medication abortion programs in 3 countries where abortion is legal, but unsafe abortion practices persist. Now, abortion is actually legal in lots of countries, in most countries for some indication, but in these 3 countries it's legal for a broad range of indications, so India, Nepal, and Cambodia. And what we're doing, we're distributing a combi pack of mifepristone and Misoprostol, and we have a couple of them that I'll pass around for you to look at. In Cambodia and Nepal, we're working with the Metabond product. Pass that around. And in India, we've overbranded. We have our own product called the Safe Abort Kit, which is not very subtle, but we're competing in India with brands like Unwanted. So subtle may not be what we want. Unwanted is not ours, just so you know as I pass this around, but the Safe Abort Kit is. So we're doing distribution, and we're also doing training of providers and some communication. We're doing post-abortion care work right now only in 2 countries, Mozambique, where we're doing a pilot with the Dutch, and then we're actually doing not Misoprostol post-abortion care, but MBA post-abortion care in Pakistan. And then we have planned post-abortion care programs that will probably start in 2011 in a number of other countries under the Women's Health Project. So you can see there. And then postpartum hemorrhage, we're doing distribution, provider training, and communications in a number of countries under a number of donors. We're doing facility-based distribution, that's distribution direct to providers, in Somaliland, Nigeria, Uganda, Tanzania, and probably others under the WHP. We're still, in some countries, sort of sorting out whether we can do post-abortion care work or whether we will start with postpartum hemorrhage work. We're doing antenatal care distribution. That's where we distribute to the provider distributes direct to the woman when she comes in for antenatal care. And then when she delivers at home, she is able to take the Misoprostol herself after delivery. We're doing that in Zambia with USAID funding. Then we're doing a community-based distribution pilot in Uganda. And we're doing Misoprostol in clean delivery kits in 2 countries, Uganda and Tanzania. Both of those are pilots. And then the Gates Foundation has asked us to do a market analysis or landscaping around the availability of misoprostol and provider knowledge in India and Uganda, and we're working on solidifying those grants, but it looks likely to happen. So that's just a quick overview, and now Dr. Blumenthal is going to get to all of the exciting stuff of how this actually works.
Okay. How do we close this down so we can just get back to my thing? Okay, great. So, I'm really happy to be able to talk with as many people as have gathered here about misoprostol. And I'm gathering that very few of you are physicians. Would that be correct? But some of you may have watched Mr. Wizard on TV at some point, or been to the Museum of Science and Industry. What I thought I would do, I mean, you know, I'm a clinician, and what I do is use this drug in clinical practice. And what I thought I would do was share with you all the different venues, or all the different clinical indications that we have for misoprostol in various programs, whether it's domestically or internationally. And I will show some data, and there will be some graphs, so that's not going to be a problem for any of you, is it? I mean, I don't know. How many of you were former Peace Corps volunteers? Okay. And how many of you come from a science background? Social science counts. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and go through it. How much time do we have?
I'm not sure what time it is now, but we have till 1:30.
Okay. So I'll try and go pretty quickly.